Welcome to the FPL Phonzie podcast, episode 2, our official post-game week 1 podcast. We are your hosts, Jason Steenkamp.
And Evan Schlag.
What we're going to do today is I think we're going to really get into our routine, a bit of our rhythm, go through our standard first part of our game week podcast. We'll review the games, talk about our game weeks and our teams, some of our transfer thoughts right now, and some of our transfer thoughts in the future. And that'll be our more condensed first part of the podcast. And then we'll have like a little more of a conversation, longer, deep dive second podcast. But first, let's go through the games. Schlags, you want to start us off with one?
Sure. So, surprisingly, Liverpool had to come back late to tie it 2-2 against Fulham. Noteworthy things, Salah scored. He looks fine. Mahrez scored. Diaz a little shaky, potentially. Let's see.
The first kickoff of the season was Crystal Palace at Arsenal. Arsenal struggled, but definitely looked like the best team. Martinelli got on the score sheet, looks amazing. But Crystal Palace's defense is not to be taken shortly.
Leeds snuck by Wolves 2-1 off a Ati Nori own goal. Aaronson's one to watch. He had the own goal kind of turned against him. He's one to watch for sure.
Bournemouth upset Villa, and probably one of the biggest surprises of the weekend. Big takeaway is Bournemouth looked massive. All their players looked like they were 6'5". Coutinho wasn't great. We really got to see what Steven Gerrard's going to do this season.
In a not so exciting game, Chelsea beat Everton 1-0 on a 45th plus 9-minute penalty by Jorginho. Wingbacks look good for Chelsea. Besides that, not much noteworthy from that one.
Newcastle beat Forest 2-0. I think we saw the worst team in the Premier League, but all the Newcastle guys looked like they were ticking with Wilson, Trippier, and Joel Linton.
Leicester City and Brentford tied 2-2. Lots of positive FPL news from this one. Madison looked good. KDH looked really good. And then on the Brentford side, Tony had put in a goal and he looked good as well.
My team, Spurs, won 4-1 at Southampton. Probably looked like the best team of the week. The wingbacks were playing well. It was really Conte ball, and Southampton looks in for a tough season.
Man United looked horrendous. Week 1, losing 2-1 to Brighton. Got down early and never really found their rhythm. I would say a big pause on them until the transfer window is closed and see what happens.
And our last game of the weekend was City versus West Ham. It was 2-0. Haaland did the business, got both goals, looked very, very good. Overall, City just dominated this game. They look clearly the best. And partially because of that, it's really hard to take anything away from West Ham. I guess you can kind of look at the players who started. Scamacca came off the bench, looked solid, but Ben Rama didn't get a start. So there's not really much to learn from West Ham here. But yeah, City look like they're on their way back up for a big Premier League win. Big weekend, very fun to watch soccer again.
Yeah, it was so great to be back.
And how is your team? How many points do you get? What rank?
So this week was very, I would say, middle of the road, just a man week. I finished with 59 points against the average of 57. So my game week 1 rank was 3.69 million. It's tough to gauge in week 1, especially because so many people use their bench boosts and use your triple captains just to kind of try and get that, high ranking right off the bat. So kind of taking that into consideration when looking at my overall rank. But some positives from my team. Kulishevsky looked amazing. Mm-hmm. Probably my favorite 8 mil mid right now. He scored 13 points. Eric Dyer got a cheeky little header. Yeah. That was nice to see. And then really for me, it was Cancelo got a clean sheet as expected, I guess, for City. Not too surprising there. And Ben White picked up a yellow, but got the clean sheet, 5 points. And really what, drew me down in terms of ranking was captaining Kane over Salah. I missed out on, I think it was 12 points there. And then Fulham scoring 2 goals. Trent and Robertson not getting those clean sheets, combining for 2 points. So that was 14.5 million combining for 2 points. Just tough to see. But you know what? I don't feel too bad about the week. Not a standout week for sure. A kind of forgettable one, honestly, but feeling good going into week 2.
And how do you do in our head-to-head league?
I was at a tough matchup. I ended up going up against the first place team, our buddy Liam, who scored 80 points.
Uh-huh.
Killer ranking. He had Martinelli scored, Holland, Captain Salah. Uh, he had Trippier got a clean sheet, James got a clean sheet. So ended up finishing third in our head-to-head league, but just way of the draw. Tough game week 1, so I lost that one.
Yeah, my team. I agree. We talked about this before that we have a few of the key ones together, but most of our teams quite different. But we usually end up in a similar spot. So I had Melier, got 3 points. Didn't get the clean, but honestly, I feel good. The Trent, Robbo, Perisic all getting 1 point for me was killer. I saw something that only 7% of managers have both Trent and Robbo. So I think when they haul, we'll see some nice return on those Robbo points. But Walker and Cancelo, having them both back there got me nice points. Captain Salah, really glad I switched to that the day before the deadline. Martinelli did well. And then Grealish, Jesus, Kane all looked okay, but didn't get points. So yeah, that was my team. I got 58 points. I ended up with a 3.9 million rank. Nothing special. I think last year, because I had Mo and Bruno at 400k after week 1, and it was kind of easy to stay up there, but it'll be quite the battle coming down from 3.9. I got the win over Benny. Schlags had the hardest person in the league. I had the easiest person in the league by quite a bit. But big shout out to Liam and Zach. They're kind of 1-2 by quite a stretch right now, and kind of the two guys that only know very few people in the league, and it's kind of just one knows Schlags, one knows me. But yeah, that's our weeks. Hopefully, we have better news next week. And next week is going to be influenced by transfers. What are you thinking transfer wise, Schlags?
So for me, I know we've talked before about how it's conventional FPL kind of like purist to wait until Friday to make your transfers. I did the exact opposite. Right after the games on Sunday, a few hours after the City West Ham game ended, I transferred in Holland and transferred out Kane. And we'll probably have similar rationale, but I did this because I knew that Holland was going to be rising on Monday, and today and Sunday was the only day to bring him in. So that was kind of the main factor. And otherwise, it gets a little more complicated with having to do a double transfer to bring him in. So that's what I was thinking. And then you know what? We took a risk week 1 with Kane. I feel that he still had the better matchup. I guess Southampton, they scored 4 goals, but he just Son maybe didn't set him up, or he just got unlucky. He didn't score one, which happens. And then yeah, Holland's got the fixtures for the next few weeks, so that was kind of my rationale for my transfer week 1.
Yeah, so my transfer story starts a little before that. So I knew the same things as you. Like, so something that was interesting for me to just like lock in was the time that prices change. I forget
Yes,
what it is. It's like 9 o'clock, 9:30 or
nine
something.
thirty, 9:30.
9:30 Eastern time. That's good, just news for you and I to know when we're making our transfers. But that's good to know because of price changes. Where do you track price changes?
I use on Reddit. There's this bot that posts the
Who's going to go
uh
up and down?
yeah, who goes up and down. It's
Hmm.
a little like easy to read post, but then otherwise I use let's see what the website's
So
called.
FPL
It's
statistics.
right now, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it like right now. Oh, I guess maybe Darwin already went up tonight because we're
Okay.
filming this over 9:30. So
Hmm.
that's what I use to gauge it week to week.
Yeah. FPL statistics is my big one, but it was good to find out that time. Um, so yeah, because I had Jack Grealish, Kyle Walker, and João Cancelo in my team, I also knew I wanted Holland in, but I had 3 City players, which really made it complicated and kind of forced me into taking a hit in game week 1, Sunday afternoon. So yeah, crazy hit, instant
Wow.
transfer. transfer out the captain or the best player on my favorite team. Pretty crazy Sunday evening for me. So I had to go somewhere with Grealish. And so I've got a few rationale here. Part of my rationale was I could go to a really cheap player because I really liked Andreas Pereira's performance. So I'm okay with him being my first sub, a guy that rotates into my squad. Um, Even Archer. Archer came on, got a point. That's a great second sub. That's fine. I'm going to give Bailey the start this week. He has a great fixture. So I really felt like I want a lot of flexibility. I don't really care who replaces Grealish. There's no one 7-0 under that I was like, must play this week. So I went all the way down to 4.5. Da Silva, the midfielder on Brentford, he scored. He didn't start, but he looked very good. So hopefully he becomes a player. But it was mainly just for the flexibility, and I went for the 4.5 I like the most. And this was all because I needed that third city spot for Haaland. So I went Kane to Haaland. Haaland was just the center of everything. And it was everything. Like he just looked amazing. Like he's not just a freak, he's a very good goal scorer. He scored on those through balls. He's on pens. Him being on penalties is a big deal. We didn't even see him make any like crossing finishes. Like this guy has ways to score, and I think he's just amazing. Also, I think he's playing Bournemouth. That looks like a good captaincy option. Kane's playing Chelsea. The price rises. There was just a million reasons that we both had to make this move. I don't think we even talked before we had made these moves. It was just so obvious. So that's what I did. So Grealish to Da Silva and Kane to Haaland and 2.5 in the bank.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get into that later on for sure. I want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. It was a crazy mental process doing that one. So we have both made our transfers this week. I'm guessing you're not making any more. I won't be either. What are some of the players on your watch list that you're thinking of bringing in the next couple weeks?
So I got my eyes on mainly 4 players, 2 midfielders, 2 defenders. So the defenders, I'm looking at Sessegnon, the wingback on Spurs, and then Saliba, who's playing center back for Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
And then my midfielders, I'm looking at Almiron on Newcastle, starting in left wing. And then James Maddison. I saw he got, I think he had the most shots in the Prem last week.
Yep.
Didn't score, got an assist. Yeah, I want to see if I had him in some of my drafts, so I want to see if I can bring him in somehow.
Nice. I've got Reese at 6 and Cucurella at 5. I think they have good fixtures. It'll be after Tottenham. I'm gonna get a full 90 minutes watching them very intensely. I'm not gonna be cheering for them this week, but I'll be taking notes. We'll see what they look like. Then I've got 2 guys that I'm thinking about because of the role they're going to play on their team, and I just want a couple more games to see if that's the final role. So Kulusevski, I don't have him. He looked amazing. If Kane's dropping deep and passing to him, I want him. And then the other one's Darwin. As much as we jumped on Haaland so quickly, I think Darwin might be a guy we jump on quickly too. I'm freeing up a lot of money right now to be very flexible, and maybe even find more money to bring Archer up. And yeah, then the last guy I have is Tony.
Yep.
I think his fixtures look amazing, at least till my first wild card. He's just gonna tick. He's just gonna score. And at 7, he might just be, if you have him at the right fixture run, that might be the guy. So those are the 5 main guys on my watch list. Who are some of the guys currently in your team that are on thin ice of moving out very soon?
Yeah, so I mentioned it before we started, but Jadon Sancho took a risk on a United guy. I said that I wanted the kind of the fan of me wanted to bring somebody in for week 1. It didn't work. I mean, he played 90 minutes. Hopefully, he should start next week. So it's not a concern necessarily about playing time right now, but they just look like very disjointed up front. Especially if they fall back, like if they fall behind early, they're out of rhythm and just messed up the entire rest of the game. So he's kind of option number 1 to head out. And then I'm looking at Ben White, who started at right back. It seemed just kind of nervous about
when a real right back's there.
Yeah, when Tomiyasu comes back, does he play? Is Saliba going to be just the second center back with Gabriel? And then just Eric Dyer, he's very solid for me. I like the clean sheet exposure, but he's just someone that if I'm looking for maybe somewhere to drop from a 5 to a 4.5 or something like that,
Yeah.
I think he's my first choice.
Yeah, I would say I've already made two moves, so uh, guys on thin ice are pretty narrow at this point. Right now, I think I only have two guys that are in genuine thin ice. One is Perisic. It's just if he's not going to play consistently, he might just be out. Um, but we'll see. It'll be good to see him with more minutes against a good team. We'll see how that goes. And then the other one's Bailey. Another one, I thought he was like one of the only good, fine players on Villa even. But those bad fixtures are coming really soon, and I'm not tied to him. He's going out of my team relatively soon, anyways. It's just how soon. So those are really my watch list. Um, yeah, you feeling better about next week?
Yeah, I'm feeling good going into the week. Um, yeah, hopefully for a couple more clean sheets.
Yeah,
But yeah, maybe a goal from someone, Aronson. Maybe you can make up for last week.
yeah. I'd say overall, I think we both like our teams. It's just didn't really bounce our way first week, but that's all good. All right. Thank you for listening. We'll be back for part two.